felt very good, but I gotta get it done.
Despite what Dylan Rizzo may say, his bowling skills are actually pretty good.
Yeah, Dill.
Especially when you consider what Dylan has been through.
No.
Did you guys ever have a doubt that he'd be back having beers with you guys? No.
It wasn't necessarily a doubt.
The reports that we were getting from the parents were, he shouldn't be alive right now.
5 years ago, Dylan Rizzo, then 19, was driving to his friend Ryan's house to play video games. But his car hit a patch of black ice, and he spun sideways into a telephone pole. His parents, Steve and Tracy, got the call every parent fears.
Pole seemed to hit him directly in the head. And from there, he went forward and hit the windshield and had more damage on the other side. So he had an impact side, first impact, and then a second impact.
Where the driver sat, where Dylan sat, there was a big indentation in the car.
He was rushed to Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston. Within an hour, neurosurgeons had removed the left side of his skull and part of the right to make room for his brain to swell. But Dylan had slipped into a deep coma.
Do you guys remember the first time you saw him?
But I just remember standing and not being able to move my feet. I wasn't gonna pass out, but it was just extremely surreal.
We didn't really know what to think because we didn't really know what was going to happen.
Dylan had been an athlete. He was an accomplished track star and rooted passionately for his Linfield High Pioneers. Dylan's the one with the O painted on his chest. But the accident had done a shocking amount of damage to his brain. Dylan remained in his coma for more than 2 weeks. He did finally open his eyes, but while he was technically awake, he wasn't aware of his surroundings. He had transitioned into what's called a vegetative state. A month later, there hadn't been much improvement. Doctors broke the news to his parents that unless he came out of it soon, Dylan would likely stay in that vegetative state for life.
And our family was in the waiting room. Everyone was waiting. And I said, we can't come out and tell our family that. I can't even say these words. I can't say it.
But this man, Joseph Giacino, not a medical doctor, but a researcher brought in to study the case, thought that Dylan's brain might just need more time.
We were sort of lumping everyone into this vegetative state category.
He's a neuropsychologist at Boston's Spaulding Rehabilitation Hospital and is among a growing number of experts warning of what he calls a rush to judgment in cases of consciousness.
As many as 40% of individuals who have been diagnosed with vegetative state actually retain some conscious awareness. That's a fairly alarming number.
He thought Dylan just might be one of those cases, and given the right therapy, might pull himself out of that fog.
The adage was, the brain is not a muscle, so just simply by exercising it is not going to help it.
I want you to follow it with your eyes. Katie, ready? Here we go.
Now there's evidence that if you do rehearsal of a particular behavior, including in a damaged brain, it may well get better.
What's the matter? You can do this. You can do it, Dylan.
Dylan was moved to the pediatric unit at Spaulding Rehab, where they started working him hard.
1, 2, 3, go.
They helped him stand. They tried to get him to walk, eventually even to climb stairs.
Do you think you want to step up with this one or this one?
He never said no to any challenge. Physically, anything you asked him to do, any medications, any shots, whatever it was.
It was 2 years after the accident when we met Dylan for the first time.
Ooh, nice shot.
Not in a nursing home, but back in his own home.
Oh.
The boy who wasn't supposed to be able to walk or talk took me down to his basement to play foosball.
Ow! Very good, man. Very good. I mean, do you know how you've confounded all the experts?
Yeah.
You know that?
I have, yeah.
Talking was difficult, but he certainly could string a few words together.
I feel great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you're making progress every day.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tell?
Yeah.
Good to see you. How are the Pioneers doing this year?
His medical team was pleased, but not satisfied. Not yet, anyway.
It's so good to see you.
They kept pushing Dylan to work even harder. On this day, an occupational therapist was helping him make muffins.
Muffin tin, paper cups. Okay. Can you find those?
His movements were slow, but with help,
All right, bell's gone off.
he did it.
Every day you see something new that he's doing that he wasn't doing before.
We watched as he learned to write again, too,
Nicely done.
Good. It's not bad.
and work on his memory.
Do you remember Mary Jane's email or her phone number? This is a tough one.
maryjane@gmail.com.
Good, very good. Not beating you up too much?
Through it all, even when it hurt, Dylan was always thumbs up. This past summer, we decided to check back in on Dylan again. And guess where we found him?
You really seem to love it.
I do love it. I really do.
Back at his high school track, where he's a volunteer assistant coach.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put your recovery, do you think?
Probably an 8.
Yeah?
8 or a 9, yeah. I'm doing very well.
Awesome.
We went to the YMCA with him too, where Dylan does weight training at least once a week.
7.
There you go.
Just tell me how, like when you're watching that, what are you thinking?
You know, it's amazing to see the amount of weight that he can actually lift, because it took weeks and months just to be able to get him to lift his right arm.
But that's not what Dylan is most proud of.
What have you noticed as the biggest improvement, you think?
I can talk much better. Before I would just go, yeah. And it was just awkward.
You can have a conversation now, and
I can, yeah.
everything happens a lot quicker in your head.
A little quicker. Slowly but surely it's getting a little better. I'm good, but I'm not that good.
You sound pretty good to me.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm just not that. I'm very intelligent, but I want to be more intelligent. That's the difference.
If you see a question that's asking when,
Time.
Great.
He's the first to admit he's got a ways to go.
So this is a really nice improvement.
Yeah, it is.
You've done great.
It really is.
You have OT,
Yeah.
speech, then PT.
Tracy, Dylan's mom, is careful to keep her expectations in check.
I want him to be able to take care of himself in the future. And I know he would love to have a family someday, so that's something I'm hoping will happen for him.
That's the goal now.
Yeah.
That's the next goal. It's
Yep.
just more independence.
More independence and a girlfriend. He wants a girlfriend.
Dylan's not ready for a full-time job. He can't live alone because cooking remains a challenge. And he still needs help managing his long list of medications and taking care of his wounds, which are still healing.
Ow.
Okay.
Joseph Giacino concedes there are parts of Dylan's brain that will likely never recover.
Okay.
But what Dylan's case suggests, he says, is that for some people, being in a vegetative state may not be as persistent as it was once thought.
The evidence is that for somebody with a disorder of consciousness, the condition is not going to be considered permanent until a year. And now with this most recent data, we know that the small percentage, maybe 15%, will actually recover after 1 year.
We got some.
His amazing journey has surprised everyone, his friends, his family, and his doctors. The only person not surprised by it all is Dylan Rizzo himself.
You sort of knew that you were going to get better, didn't you?
Yeah, I was guaranteeable. It's like, I'm getting better, and that's it. Just keep going. That's what I always say. Just keep going. That's it.